Moving on to call to the audience, I see an audience member. Do you have something you wanted to share with us or say to us? Awesome. Without that, I'm going to move on to approval of the agenda. I know, Daniel, you had an amendment you wanted to make to the agenda.
Yeah, can we cut the officer's position? I don't think that we have enough time to make any changes in the duration.
Of the agenda.
The Supreme Court doesn't need to be on there anymore.
Okay.
Second.
Of the agenda.
I didn't know if we need a second, but whatever.
Yeah.
I did.
And any other changes? In the absence of none, can we move a motion to approve the agenda the way it is?
I move to approve the agenda.
Are there ayes? Nays? I don't see any abstentions now. Moving forward to approval of minutes, we have minutes from January 30th and February 13th. Are there motions to approve these minutes?
Nope.
Is there any motion to approve these minutes or table them?
I didn't have a chance to
Yeah,
read
I
them.
I move to table them.
Were they sent today?
I think so.
Yes.
I think
I
I think it was sent before the last meeting that was cancelled and then sent again yesterday. But we can table it if you guys want to.
I move to table to the next EUB meeting.
Is there a second?
Yeah, sure.
Ayes, nays, abstention, 3-1.
301.
Sorry,
Yeah.
301.
Yes, that's okay.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that correction, Daniel.
Mhm.
Old business, Jim or Warren isn't here, so we'll move straight to strategic plan. If you've been following that page, you see we made a number of changes, which I just want us to go through quickly and approve what we can approve. Any other final changes, I can make it over the week and send out the final document to everyone. So what I'd like us to do now is just to quickly go through what I've tried to do, and every other person has also recommended changes. What we try to do is to make them as suggestions so we can easily track those changes, and I would recommend that we start going from the top as we see those changes, and we can either accept or reject whatever changes that we don't want and go through this as quickly as possible. So I don't want to think anyone would have a problem with this.
So capitalize the S. Yes. Fine.
Capitalize
What are we
or
doing?
no, to include this entire statement, the one on green.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say approve that. I think someone changed the X. That was greener. The mission, I made this minor change because what we had online was different from what I saw in this document. So just to be consistent, I decided to take that off.
Grammar changes.
Yeah.
Grammar changes. Grammar changes.
Okay. So Gina, I don't know what she meant to pass here. Do you mean GPS and university? I'll still just leave this the way it is because this is what we have online, right? I don't want to get into changing GPS's mission right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Well, the answer is to other organizations, other student organizations.
Yeah.
That's the answer to the question.
Yeah.
if anyone
So it's
asks-
understood in the context of
Yeah.
what the general statement is.
So I say just leave it as is.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a little bit change. This may be reviewed and updated by yearly members. I don't think anyone has a problem with that as well. Moving on to the two parts. Okay, maybe here is what I recommend we do. If you have any objection to any of the things in page 1, point it out and we'll fix it. Otherwise, I'll approve everything on page 1 and we'll move to the next page.
Hold
Let
on
me
just
include
a
a
second.
page number to this. And if there's anything you want us to add, delete,
Mhm.
work on, just point it out. We'll do it right now and move to the next page. That might be quicker rather than doing two statements.
I mean, I looked at everybody's, so unless you've made changes since the last time I've looked at it, which I assume you have.
Daniel had a point here, but I don't understand what exactly he wanted us to do with this statement you highlighted.
Oh,
That was from you last
I want to
time.
see the entire strategic plan affirmed by the GC every year. But
Do you want
that's-
us to include a sentence
No.
or something there?
No, it's just, I think the point is kind of
we should
speaking
all
to the larger thing
Yeah.
of the strategic plan, like as echoed in the original draft, like
Mhm.
this is something that should be updated every year, and it's kind of hard to
Suspect.
update it every year if nobody talks about it and like
Yeah.
agrees with the ideas espoused within.
So
Yeah.
It's something that needs to be in like bylaws or something somewhere else.
So it's not something that actually needs to be included, it's just something that needs to be
Done.
done. And
Okay.
we should encourage
Mark as resolved.
next year to do that. Hello.
Do we move the meeting?
Yeah, I did send that in the email I sent out last night. We needed to use the screen today for today's meeting.
Alright.
I'm not hearing any objections to any other thing on page 1. I'm gonna go ahead and approve all of those.
Okay.
And we'll move on to whose comment was this? Jenna. Seems like a good thing.
Oh,
Cutting
I need
edge
to
of every major education initiative.
I forgot to Skype. Hold on.
Someone
Yeah,
had something to
do
say.
you, Daniel?
Who is Skyping?
Maria, I forgot to call her. I'm just gonna call her because I don't have Skype on my phone.
History should be reviewed.
I'm sorry, pause for just a second. If she doesn't answer, I'll call back.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to page 2 while you do that. So please, if you can quickly scan through page 2 and point out anything you have a problem with. Otherwise, I'm gonna start proving all the suggestions that have been made by different people. Danielle, myself, Jenna. There's been a few
Honestly,
changes.
it would be probably be easier instead of going through and approving the changes if you make the edits and then send out that document for a final proofread. Does that
This
make
is
sense?
a shared document.
But that's what I'm saying. Like we all have looked at it.
Yeah, I don't. I accept all of these changes. I don't have any problem with anything here.
The point is, the part of the reason for wanting to do this was I did not want a situation where I just wanted everybody to be involved in this process, and if people had specific things that they wanted to add or take away, I wanted to give people opportunity to do that. I could as well sit back and work on the entire document myself and present the version to everybody.
But I think
But
I don't see anything I object to. So just accept.
my
all of
point
these
is like
changes.
it's been really collaborative. So I think that everybody's made changes and looked at the changes that other people have suggested and worked.
We don't need to do it again.
Yeah. So I would just it is easier for me to visualize without all the track changes and
Okay.
just see a final
see what you're
markup
saying.
and then make any final suggestions on that, basically. But I think that, like I said, I noticed yesterday when I was making comments that other people had made comments. So I think that as I was working through it, I read everybody else's and took their feedback into consideration. And oftentimes I agreed with what they were saying. So that's why I didn't necessarily make any other suggestions above the ones I did.
Jenna, is she in?
Janelle, can you
Can you
join
please
us?
confirm these numbers you have for travel grant before I put that in?
Can you just come right over here real
Please,
quick?
if you don't
please?
mind.
Sure.
Can you confirm your calculation? I don't know if one of us made an error. Between 51 and 96% increase from last year. How do you calculate percentage increase again? I thought it's final versus initial over initial.
Well, from 153,000,
That was initial
yeah,
to 300,000
yeah.
divided by 153. I think is 90.
No,
No,
that's not how you do it.
it's basically a 50% increase. Like 153 is a little more than half of 300,000.
So, is that not a 151% increase? So that's how that works.
Please, if so, someone what?
Never mind.
Percent-
I'll go
That
back
makes
and
sense.
fix it. Just highlight all.
What is?
It should be what you said.
Yeah, that's what I knew. That's
Yeah.
from engineering.
Final minus initial divided
Over
by
initial.
Other
Which-
question.
I
Because that's
see
an
what
increase.
you're
How many?
Okay,
groups?
other
Yeah,
question.
that's
Is it
fine.
strictly necessary to have percentages in this? Because
Yeah,
no one's going to
probably not.
understand what they mean anyway.
Well, it's probably not strictly necessary. It was.
We'll just approve it now and then we'll double check with
I'll go back
someone
and
with
I'll go back and fix it. It's okay.
someone
Sorry
who can
about
someone who can read
my
math.
brain is not my
No,
brain's
it's
not
fine.
working today.
It's okay.
I did percentage increase. I'm like, I gotta go run away and show now.
Yeah, I've got Maria on Skype here.
Can
Okay.
you mute her when she's not actually talking because this is very distracting?
So let's give Maria a second to get Skyped in here.
Okay.
So Maria, can you hear okay now?
Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I do.
Okay,
Can you hear
mute.
me?
Yes, mute on your end. Otherwise, we're gonna get feedback.
Okay, I'm muting it then.
All right, unmute when you need to.
So basically, everybody is fine with the goals we have there right now. That's the feeling I have from this room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Move on to
There's an extra
next.
period on the very bottom
Mhm.
bullet point. Thank you.
Yeah, say, Jude, can you just bring Maria up to speed on what we're doing here?
We're
Strategic
just
plan
we're running through the strategic plan and approving all of these changes that have been worked on for the last couple of months.
since November.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're just going through and removing all the track changes of the shared document.
Have a good afternoon.
Just a minute. Probably. If someone has a laptop and is willing to help me with this, I wouldn't mind. Seems to be taking too long. Okay, you know what, let's move to the third page if everybody is fine with second
Yeah.
page the way it is. I'll do track change later. Basically has the big picture, what we advocate for. I added two things to that. If anybody has any addition or subtraction to do to that, now is the time. Otherwise, I'm moving.
So there's the retention rate and graduation rate thing, and I know last time it came up, we weren't actually sure we wanted to make this one of our goals because there are ways to improve retention and graduation rates that are actually detrimental to graduate students
Yeah.
rather than beneficial. So I think we could rephrase this as instead something like improve support for struggling students and improve preparation at the start of programs or something like that.
I think the spirit behind this is the ABOR 2020 plan or the U of A's 2020 plan.
2025 now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the original plan is what I'm talking about though. They suggested increasing, like part of the plan basically is U of A will increase graduation rates by however many, I don't know the exact numbers, and also same for retention rates. Like they're trying to get up to like 90% for all of those. And I think that they're really focusing on undergrads, but I think that the original spirit behind the GPSE 2020, I would imagine, was kind of echoing some
It
of those
probably was.
same.
But you can
But we're
improve
grad, yeah.
you can improve graduation rates by simply not accepting low income students and not
Yeah.
accepting minority students.
Yeah.
And so unless we actually have something in there to make sure GPSE doesn't get on the bandwagon of not accepting students who are at an increased risk of dropping out, then I don't think we're really serving our
So
constituents.
increased services, basically, then something
think
like
so.
that for.
Increase support, increase services.
Increase
Service
why not, we could say
support.
increase support for
Graduate student
graduate
retention and
student
rates.
retention and graduate student graduation rates.
Yeah.
Yeah, increase support for that
Increase
because that's
support for
Yeah. And I don't think we need a percentage in this case because it's an intangible.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's just this is what we want
Yeah.
to make sure that we do is support these students.
retention rates. So no need for the year and the
graduate student retention rates.
what?
Student singular.
And then increase support for graduate student graduation rate.
Is that necessary? Isn't that redundant? If they're not dropping out, they're graduating?
If they're here for 15 years because
Yeah, that's
they're
right.
not
Okay.
having because they're having kids
Retention and
having,
graduation,
because
they
they're having
differentiate
children
them
and having
too.
problems
So
with that, then we need
Okay.
to be able to fix that.
That's fair.
retention is not losing them. Graduation is
Hanging
not
on
losing
to
them
money.
until the point that they're
they're out
done.
of money or
Yeah.
they're
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
drop out of the
graduation
program.
is
Is this
actually
more like what
graduate,
people are
yeah.
asking for now?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
These are the parts on GPS impact. I've asked Grad College to provide updated
data.
for me. Thomas responded. He said he will send it to me later. So when he does, I'll include that.
Yeah.
Data driven advocacy, next page.
Yeah.
Okay, the pattern survey, whatever, is everybody fine with that part?
Contact.
I think so.
Led by is not a word, but otherwise it's fine.
Oh, I'll go for that.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyone had any comments with this? Otherwise, move on to the next page. This might actually go quicker than I thought.
Mm-hmm. I don't see any problem.
Okay. Travel grants. Gina has done considerable changes to this topic, and I think she's the expert in that area. So I'll just accept everything she said there.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
Jasmine, can you help me? I see you're online too. Can you help me accept some of those changes?
No, I'm eating.
I shall.
I don't have my laptop with me. I have my iPad, but I can't accept changes. I think for that.
Yeah, iPads and phone are just so crazy sometimes.
Oh.
If you need me, let me know.
What's happening?
I have no idea.
Are you suggesting or editing? One of us is probably doing that.
That's
So
what it is.
creating more.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just not gonna help because it's not actually making it more efficient.
One of us was obviously doing something there. I was like, this is just growing rather than.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave this travel grant thing and come back to it. I know we don't have a problem with it. I hope. Please, let's look at. I didn't do any changes to research grant because honestly, I don't have so much data on that. Jasmine, unless you had any inputs on that feed.
I don't know if I'm looking at the screen instead of my own screen. One moment.
There's something I don't have so much data on that, honestly.
Yeah, I'll look at it and I'll let you know if I see anything clearly wrong.
The next part is club funding. I did not also change that part. Jim, unless you had something you wanted to add to that. Okay, I'll probably look at it again. I added this little part on food insecurity. So if anyone had something to add to that, we'll take away from that. That something just okay.
Did we approve new funds?
Not yet.
Okay.
I added that potentially.
Okay.
If we don't approve it,
Then
we'll
we'll
take
just
it
go
out.
ahead and,
Yeah.
Cool.
In elections, I don't want to think there is. Okay, I think one part I wanted to bring up is this part on collaboration with ASUA. Initial language had something about fighting for our rights in quotes or trying to make a point that we are grad students
Yeah.
rep, and I thought it was time for us to move away from that rhetoric and move towards trying to build a partnership with these people, because as I've seen this year, working collaboratively with them benefits us way better than fighting against them. So I changed that entire language, but if anyone has any objections to that, now is the time to speak on that, otherwise.
Well, I would point out that, we did have a vote of the entire grad student body several years ago on this very issue, an overwhelming vote, that EPSC was the only body representing grad students.
I believe the phrasing was primary, not sole.
Well, I think too, though, the argument isn't that we aren't the ones, as we said in the initial part of the document, GPSC is the representation for graduate students largely. It's the voice. However, all students can be a part of ASUA.
Yeah.
So I think that one thing that I've noticed in my time here is that traditionally the two haven't seemed to really work together very well, but I think that that's something that we should change, and I think that it will help both, especially GPSC, if we do work together.
Historically, the problem hasn't been with the ASU side.
Okay, so this looks
But I
good.
think that we can always like change that, right? And if people are willing to work with us, then I think that that's something that we should use as a building block instead of saying, okay, thanks for helping work with us this year, but we don't want to talk to you anymore ever again because historically you've been assholes.
Because our strategic plan says that we have to fight you instead of work with you. That's, yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think the strategic plan says that.
When it
It
says
did say something about defend GPSC's position, which I think
And it
puts
also-
us on a defensive instead of, if we're on an offensive, then that means that we get to kind of set the game plan.
also if we are the sole, then we have to offer a lot more stuff than we are capable of doing. We have to fund a whole bunch of things and run a whole lot more programs than we're even capable of.
Our constitution is
Managing.
primary for, I
Yeah.
believe, over a year at this point, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, on behalf of our constituents who all voted for UPSC to be the governing body for grad students in the differentiated ourselves from the ACA, I just, for the record, point out one more time that, you know, UPSC has put up a long, hard battle for
When was
many,
this?
many years to be the,
Sorry, Jim. Just for clarification, what year was this that this was voted on?
it was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
So I'm going to be the one to point out that was before I even came to this university. So it might be useful to think about our current constituents rather than ones who've probably graduated by now.
Well, my position to this is, as GPSC president,
Can I finish speaking?
I thought you were done. Please
No,
get to
anyway, not to be. So, this is an inherent problem throughout grad student governments. ASU, the grad student government at ASU, actually, right now, they get per capita equal funding with the undergraduates. We don't, we're nowhere near that.
We actually get proportionally, because having served on ASUA, or not ASUA, having served on SSFAB, I know that the ask from GPSC proportionately is larger than that of ASUA's ask.
Yeah, I'm not talking about SSI, I'm talking about.
Jim, we have $1 million budget for GPSC.
Okay.
That is more than most
Considering
grads.
time
I think
challenges,
there's a
I
time
would
for us to
want
hear Jim's statement, and then choose not to do anything about it. So I
Okay.
think we can move on now.
Please, we've had that. I as the president in this term, I have decided that working in collaboration with ASU is what works best for me. If the next president comes into position and believes that fighting against ASUA is what works best for him, he has or her, they have the opportunity to review this document and put back the language that they should keep fighting ASUA. I thought that we working together this year yielded more result than fighting against ourselves. So with that said, I'm going to move on. I think I've implemented all track changes I see. Only one thing that is still missing, I included a line about investing in the future. I haven't written anything on that, but it was more of in the line of the new proposal I had, which I don't know if it's going to be approved or not, about saving and putting it into our endowment account. So if that is approved, I'm going to write a little blog on that and include it right there. But other than that, last words, anybody have any final suggestions or recommendations, something you want us to add to this? It would be great to do that now. I will try and finish this document in the next few days and send out the final version to everyone. Maybe I'll be online.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay, the absence of any other suggestion, might have done something to Gina's paragraph actually.
I tried to trim it back to where it's supposed to be after that it exploded.
Because I don't see,
What is it that you're looking for exactly?
I think it's okay. Google Drive actually saves all the previous histories,
Yeah,
so we can
I
fix
think
this later.
It should be
I think she had some sort of charts that I don't see right now.
okay.
Okay.
Right, like I'll find it from Google Chart. Let's move on with our agenda. I think we have other important business to get to today. New business, budget 2017-2018. This is going to go to GC obviously, as everybody knows, but I wanted EB to have an opportunity to recommend changes you have in mind before it goes to if you try not to look at my emails, that would be fantastic. Recommend changes that we have before that goes to the GC. So I think we have about 15 minutes or so to get through whatever changes we have to recommend, and then we'll get through the many parts of our agenda for today.
We can delete some of the stuff.
Like,
Yeah, we can delete that line 22.
what was it about?
Basically, someone tried to explain some accounting thing to last year's general counsel and did a terrible job, and so none of us actually understood what had happened. And so this is what we thought had been explained to us, but apparently since we're not accountants, we
So
misunderstood.
there's nothing like that.
Yeah, you can just delete it.
Okay, that brings
Yeah,
down.
actually, Jasmine's description is entirely accurate. It doesn't even matter where it came from, it's just wrong.
Okay. So
And then I would just put a 0 on rollover because we don't know what it is yet. So we can always change it later.
Good call.
what's retained fee? Anyone knows what that is?
That's where the
Thank you.
permanent funding
Email.
came from, actually.
What-
When I
what did you
missed your
say?
email.
Yeah, I sent an email on
To me or to everyone, I probably missed it.
that. No, I sent an email with something prior to this year.
Please, can you just quickly let us know what it is again?
So-
Is it supposed to be there?
Retained fees of $239,000.
Okay, so what's the $200,000 permanent funding from Melissa
Yeah.
Vito's?
So,
There is no.
there
200,000.
previously was a,
I think
fee
you're
remission
asking me a question.
to, all GAs. Basically, GAs would pay fees,
Mhm.
and then, afterwards, GAs would get a refund, essentially, but only GAs, not all grad students, right? So that went away, and the deal that Zach struck with Melissa Vito was that goes away, but GPSC gets $200,000 permanent funding from that. That's
Mhm.
why it's called the retained fees.
Okay, so there's no line called retained fees,
I don't believe so.
or there's no line called permanent funding.
So can I actually explain this? GPSC has several major accounts. Main account is GPSC general account. The second primary account is called the GPSC retained fees account.
Mm-hmm.
The retained fees account is funded at approximately, if I remember correctly, I sent you the exact number, I think it's $239,000 per year.
From who?
From the source I just explained, basically.
Essentially
one
from
is-
Melissa Vito's office.
Okay. So was that what was cut down? What was cut down to 179,000
That
last
was
year?
the,
Was
that
that
was
it?
the exact, yeah, that was it. It was supposed to be $200,000 a year. It was cut because all budgets were cut.
So it's confusing now.
Yes, it is.
From what you're saying, what that money should be, it's 239,000 or so. From what the knowledge I have, it seems that what GPSC has for that is 200,000.
I believe what happened is there are two sources feeding into the same budget item. So there's the 200,000 permanent funding feeding into the retained fee, and there's another source also feeding into the retained fee, I believe.
Jim, do you know what that other source is?
Pardon me?
Do you know what the other source might be?
If you look at what the budget
I'm
says, it
looking at,
specifies-
is this the email that you're talking about, Jim? Because the one that you sent this afternoon?
No, it's the one I sent last night.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of the budget with me on this computer, so.
Okay.
Current budget, I shared it with Google Drive, that's what you mean. I shared it on Google Drive. Means.
Well, I have
No,
that.
our actual current budget for this fiscal
Okay.
year. That breaks out into two sources.
Is this what you're referring to, Jim?
That's what I was originally referring to.
Okay.
Yes, the email that I sent you last.
So funded with 239,000 historically
So if we're just talking historically, that's actually not helpful to us because we need to know what it will be funded at next
this
year.
year. Yeah.
Have
Can you ask Melissa?
So all the
what's gonna be
while, what I
present?
thought was there was this 200,000 permanent funding that was cut down to 179. That's what I've asked for. That will go back to the 200,000 for next year, and I've gotten a yes on that. Now I'm hearing that it's 239. I don't know what the 239 is.
It's-
It's confusing now.
Yeah. All right, but you've heard it's $200,000.
Yes, that is
So
going
let's-
back
Sounds like
from
that's what should be
one.
run with.
We should
If
go
it
with
turns
two.
out there's a mysterious extra $40,000, then
Great.
we'll have extra stuff to spend later.
So this line goes away. That's what I
Yep.
seem to be hearing. Delete says.
Yeah, so Jude,
Delete
unless
row.
someone has told you that we're getting more money into the retained fees account than we've gotten in the past, you should go forward with the assumption that there will be $200,000, $300,000.
He actually has heard the $200,000 is the amount.
Yeah.
So
So our budget goes down to 913.
okay.
That's crazy.
Yep.
We obviously have a negative down there. Alrighty. Please, who knows what the student government and governance compensation is? I have no clue what that is.
I'm going to assume that it is one of our staff members, and I don't know which one.
Okay.
Is Megan still here? I asked her about it earlier. Megan, did you ask Chrissy about the student government thing? Did you
Line
ask Chrissy
34 in the budget.
Yeah.
about the 17,000 I spoke to you earlier today?
I saw stuff. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, then we don't know what it is.
Well.
We have to assume we're paying it.
Okay. The other thing I marked out was marketing admin.
Okay. Yeah.
Do people want to leave that or take that away from our budget?
What is it? That's
It's
That
what
was
we
what
was what we used to pay a marketing
Oh.
admin for last
And
year.
it
Actually,
hasn't
I would
allowed
like-
useful
yeah,
I
time in
decided not to
years,
hire
so-
someone. So
I would delete
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
I mean, I think that I have absorbed a lot of that, and Carol has absorbed, and
I think it's irrelevant.
I think that if we're going to maintain 2 vice presidents, then that's what part of my responsibilities are marketing. So
Yeah.
okay.
I
So
agree.
we delete it.
because it's external,
Word deleted. So
also internal, but
look at every other thing. Whoever has a problem with a line, start pointing it out. And let's
We
start
haven't
dealing with it.
officially voted to change from GA ships to.
We have not
stipends.
voted to do that.
Okay.
All of that are the
Can
recommendations.
you put in the actual numbers in the meantime so
For
the GC
30,000?
understands? Yeah. Is it 30,000, 32? I don't actually know, but so the GC understands what our budget would look like if we didn't make that change?
what change? Oh, the stipends.
Yeah.
From GA ships to stipends.
All right. Well, then now we need another row.
Listen.
It would, yeah, we're good.
So it depends on if we want to also vote to increase the stipend to 16,000 like I proposed for the president, or leave it at the current rate.
Just
So
leave it
let's
the current
say
for right now because we haven't made any changes yet.
30, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But then I think that also means changing the president back to 30,000 because that hasn't been voted on either.
Yeah. I think that's what we should do.
So it leaves our
Jude.
deficit
All
at
right, Jude. Let's go
Mm.
back up to president and change it to
182.
30,000 too.
Do I have it right privileges? I
Yeah.
do.
You
We're
do,
all
all
good.
EBs have.
Alright, let's keep going.
Okay. So
Which takes us down to
right.
Yep.
So that's our
180,000 deficit.
okay.
We're getting there. Oh, okay. Sorry, Jude. You also reduced stipends, and we haven't voted on that yet either. So
Okay, yeah, I also proposed reduction in stipends
Yeah.
for all the executive.
I can change those to
positions.
3,000 if that's what they're.
They are
at.
currently at $3,000.
Okay, I'll just change them all to 3,000
Okay.
because again, we can choose to change this, but we have not changed it yet. And
What is
since-
Kevin operating on right now?
I don't know.
What did we cut it down to? 65?
I don't know, was that 73,000 or so? I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't remember.
I don't know what it was from what I have from previous year.
We also moved some things out from under Kevin, so like the joint event fund became someone else's. That actually might be the only thing left here. It doesn't really matter.
I would point out that the current GPSC budget, which I sent out a while ago, actually I sent out several times since November, does actually answer a lot of these questions. You're looking at the budget from 2 years ago. That's apparently what you started with. All the
This?
corrections. Yeah, that's apparently you're basing that on the budget from 2 years ago that Jared Brock created. Back then the executive board was Sarah Netherton, Jared Brock, Jasmine, and 2 other
Jim,
folks.
if this would be useful, why didn't you do it before the meeting?
Excuse me, I'm stupid.
You shouldn't be.
If you look at the current, the budget that I've been working with all year that I've sent out and have asked you guys for feedback on, that solves a lot of mistakes that were in this 2-year-old budget. And also,
Okay, can you
Yes.
point them out? Because I don't know what document you're referring to now. Can you point them out so I can fix them right here now? Might be
No, I
helpful.
don't have a copy of the current budget with me at this time.
We don't have an email record of that.
Yeah, certainly sent to the executive board several times.
So administrative compensation,
Well, obviously, we have a serious problem with the budget right now because we have almost $200,000.
I think that we need to wait on, I know that you think that this is a good idea to propose this, but I think that we might not be able to at this moment.
Yeah. Well, okay. So all of those are.
Cause that's $58,000.
Yeah. All of those need to be
Yes.
moved out of the way right now because we're trying to get
Yeah,
us.
I would cut that whole
Yeah.
section for now,
I just shift it over to the left so we can.
so it's not
Yeah.
in the column with
Right.
everything else.
And then what? And what if we're gonna? What we need to say is if we want to do these things, we have to cut money from somewhere else
Yeah.
right now.
okay, just a thing to
You
check
just
real
shift the
fast.
dollar amounts.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Just right click.
Just
Just highlight, right click,
zero it out.
and insert. Just
Oh,
insert. Just insert a.
And then, yeah,
Column.
B.
Yeah.
okay, great,
There you go.
that's good.
Okay.
Can we double check that we are not currently allocating additional money from GPSC's other accounts to fully SSF funded things?
Oh.
Because that tends, like, I know previously we were allocating, $20,000, $30,000 from
So-
the general fund to travel and research, and
That's still happening right now. From what
okay,
I
then we
see.
can zero that out because, well, okay.
We can
I
do
just
it
have to hear from
currently.
Danielle about what actually got funded because I haven't seen those numbers yet. But
What got funded from SSF
Storm
is
and I talking,
is-
but it's in this budget.
okay.
195. That's what got funded this year.
Okay.
There is.
I will point out that some of the money we get, for example, we get $50,000 from the grad college into our general fund every year for travel grants. If we say, well, we're not going to use that money for travel, I don't think we have the latitude to say we're not going to use that money for travel.
Yeah.
I think if
How
we
much?
say that, then we don't get that money.
How much of the?
Actually, Melissa Vito has promised an extra $100,000 for travel grants this year, specifically earmarked for that.
Jude, I think you told me about the money from the graduate college and how it was actually not earmarked for travel grants anymore. Is that correct?
This money will.
No.
This is
You know,
different.
I know Melissa's
yeah.
Vito's money is different.
Um,
Yeah.
Money from grad college, what I was told initially, so they give us a total of 100 and something thousand, and actually what they said was 100,000 was for travel grants. But I think a few years ago we split that money and put 50 as travel grants and 50 into other business. Maybe that's what makes up for the discretionary fund you say we have. Or it's not it. But I think that change was done a few years ago. But it's not like grad college is asking us to go back to that model either.
Okay.
But I'm looking at this budget and I don't know where to start cutting money from.
Well, right
we
now
still have
there's
120,000.
operations is the obvious place.
Yeah.
Specifically,
Okay. Haven't we already discussed reducing the amount of constituency meetings people have?
yeah.
Is this
I thought I
old?
reduced that already.
Yeah. So that should
You
be.
might have reduced the number, but you might not have reduced
so
that
should,
part.
Yeah. That should be 34 times 30 is what?
Yeah, but I reduced the number a little bit.
Okay.
I can still take it down.
$1,020.
Yeah.
It was 3,000. I think I brought it down to 2,000.
It should be $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Shared promotion.
It's t-shirts and
I think this is under marketing already.
Yeah,
Just
t-shirts
one.
can be deleted, zeroed out.
And,
Actually, just deleted.
Yeah.
program sponsorships is down to 2,000 this year.
I think that's actually also duplicated on this budget.
Okay.
No, it's not.
So that should be $2,000.
Yeah.
And then we can still go less if we want to.
And we have the one we currently have: the social events fund, a joint
Mhm.
event fund, and program sponsorships,
That's
and
it.
and POD funding.
Well, that was my question with the
Yeah.
the amount, the 9,000. Is that including that subset sponsorship thing that we've done this year, or is that what's all included with that?
Looking at that number, I think it does actually include everything you were remotely responsible for this year, and so I
Yeah.
think you just need to tell us which of these other things you were already doing, and so we can zero them out because they're already included in that $9,000.
I would.
Did you change the numbers for
What
national
about
travel?
marketing and
Yes, because
communications
that's what it was this
budget?
year.
There's 6,000.
Yeah, actually,
line
people-
line 83. It says marketing and communication budget 6,000,
yeah,
and
you
then
killed
line
that.
65 is marketing, so that's actually duplicated.
Okay, that's
Woo.
true.
Awesome. And then I think, can we go ahead and move program sponsorships up to social events and then reduce the 9,000 to 7,000, just so we're all
Sure.
clear on that?
Seems fine.
What we really need is more income sources. I know we hired Sarah and others to be our fundraising person. Do we have any money coming from that?
Not that I know
have
of
to ask
yet.
her.
I'm not aware of any new revenue, Jim. That's what you're asking. Let's see.
Not those.
Use the wrong line.
The wrong line?
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh, I see.
What about
Then are you fixing that?
Yeah.
scroll down?
Scroll down to where?
What is investments? And why is
Something.
20,000 repeated twice?
It's just not a
Oh, it was putting down from the savings before.
It's not repeated twice. It's just
Yeah, but it might
It
be
was-
based on
The
what the
formula
thing
was
was
supposed to be.
taking in. Did that change the number? I wasn't watching when he did that.
I don't pay attention.
Okay.
It should just add, we should just be adding up all the yellow lines. That's the idea anyway.
But I don't know what the formula is doing.
Yeah.
So
We're still
We
at
should
$7,000 short, huh?
We should probably look at cutting back on some of the events. The events budget this past year was a lot higher than it was, say, 3 years ago. So although
Okay.
we had
Are there
some great
specific
events,
areas you want to cut from what you say there?
Well, joint event fund can go away because we don't have that anymore.
yeah. Didn't we cut the open houses or no?
Yeah, we did. 'Cause-
Completely?
Yeah, I don't think anyone was willing to take them on, so.
I think that because that's why I was asking about Kevin's events budget because I thought we cut it down to like
I
65,000.
think we did, and Kevin's been sticking to that, and he's been giving us regular updates.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's really time right now to pull up Kevin's emails
Exact.
and stuff, so. Okay, so, travel grants.
But we can play with that money and just tell whoever because I don't know if Kevin will be here next year. So we can. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I think that we can play with that amount and just say this is what you have to work with. Sorry, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we are in fact doing something wrong on the travel grants line item, I think. Maybe not.
I might have seen
It'd be nice if we
the
were though.
budget that has GPSC.
That actually seems okay. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, we're good.
No, that's not
I think that the document that Jim sent was an Excel sheet.
Yeah, there's something that
Not
has two different parts. It has what he called discretionary and non-discretionary part, but I can't find that document now.
Oh, well.
It's an Excel
Okay.
sheet, so we'll have
Okay.
to figure it out
Um,
later.
All right.
We are still
Okay. So
$83,000.
the GPSC retreat and representative training. What is
Oh.
that?
Okay, the retreat should cost $500.
Okay.
So we can just reduce that now, because I believe we already did reduce it, actually.
Wait, can you go back down to the bottom, Jude?
Those are actually correct.
These numbers?
Those are.
No.
Oh, not that, sorry.
These
I
need
only
to be
looked at the last
updated
two.
too,
Which
Jude.
this?
No, yeah, all these at the bottom. Travel
all
grants and
correct.
research grants.
Travel grants and research grants are correct, I
They're
just checked
correct.
where they were pulling from.
It's
Okay.
And they're
it's
only
this,
pulling from non-discretionary, so that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This,
Club funding, let me check.
I just wasn't sure because the amounts were different than what I.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, club funding is fine as well.
Yep.
Childcare is fine. POD is fine, so yeah, we're good. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we can just ignore those.
All right.
What is the GPSC Grant Winner Expo?
It's the.
do we know if
That's-
there's that
Did we
amount?
do that?
Nope, we can just delete that.
Take that out. That's $6,000.
Deleting it.
Yeah, because it's
Do
student
we know
show.
there's that amount Kevin used for showcases here?
Oh, you
email.
think so?
I know you said
think
it went
Kevin sent it
down.
out.
We know the amount, but
I know you
he
said it went down, but I don't remember how much
Yeah,
it
you found
was.
some ways to save money.
Can we safely bring that down to 25,000?
I would not.
No.
I would just look at what Kevin actually sent out and update the numbers.
yeah,
according
because
to
see,
what
we're
Kevin's
already
actually done.
creeping down back towards 68,
Yeah.
towards
So we
65.
should be right where. That's pretty close.
Okay, so this has not been finalized. I know Kevin was trying to get international student pickup put entirely in the graduate college's hands, I believe.
Yep.
Or someone else's hands, maybe not graduate college.
Maybe
but
make a
someone
note
else.
of that out to the side.
Just 1,500 doesn't even change the budget significantly.
What do we,
Everything
what's
matters.
the bottom line at the moment?
The bottom line is, I think, 82 over, right? 80
Yeah,
over.
around
Can you
there.
scroll?
76,906
We're doing so
dollars.
well.
All right, so
Yay, balancing budgets.
yes, so this is the point at which we really have to start
Okay, so how much
looking
do
at what
we
we're doing.
how much did we save this year from people not getting paid their full stipends because they did not actually fulfill their duties? If the answer is 0, something is wrong.
Yeah, but
My salary went directly to travel grants. That's an extra 10,900 for travel grants to play with.
And that doesn't expire.
Well, it's only
should-
valid for my year, but
um,
I don't. I think the money will roll over
Okay,
because
alright.
it should,
should just
Okay.
go direct.
because it was from my salary, so
Yeah.
it's their money, not anybody else's money. SS5 or whatever.
Yeah, so just to clarify, in case folks aren't getting this, to the extent that we get travel grants money or research grants money, that doesn't help us balance the budget because
No, but what I'm saying is that money, even though I said I would allocate it to travel grants, since travel grants isn't going to be hurting for money next year, it
Oh, so
means
you're
that we
saying
have
maybe
extra
we can-
$10,000 to
Because
play
it rolls
with.
over.
As
It just goes in the general
Hey
fund.
Megan, I have a question.
Go ahead and put the 7,000 for
Have-
socials put at 6.
Is my
'Cause that's where I was
salary
operating under
allocated
this
for
year.
this year,
I believe
and it can't be used next year?
Can we just put it in the general fund rather than the travel grant fund?
Yeah, why wouldn't it roll over?
so. Because it's salary.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it would be paid by the end of this fiscal year. Basically, it's allocated to be paid by the end of this fiscal year, I assume.
But that just depends on what bucket it comes out of. Not all buckets expire at the end of the fiscal year.
Wait, what's the argument
We're
about
just
that?
asking
Whatever-
because now travel grants is going to have a lot of money next year, but our budget might not otherwise. So now we're kind of like, oh crap, because it doesn't seem. I mean, travel grants does need the money this year, but
Okay.
If
Okay,
you want to
ca-
send me an email and I can forward it to
okay. So inquire quickly.
Anyhow,
Okay.
I'll do that. I'll follow
So
up.
Sounds good.
so what we're gonna have to do? Okay, so we've got
another suggestion on that. So
10 minutes.
I think right now,
Well, we don't have to have it fully budgeted before we meet them. Just highlight that. That way we can discuss changes.
So actually, guys, we might be done.
Like I think.
I think. Jim is claiming there's an extra $60,000 that none of us were aware of, or maybe an extra 40,000.
60,000 from where?
Remember how he kept saying it was 239,000, not 200,000?
no.
If he's right, then that's an
Yeah,
extra
I mean,
$39,000.
people like that.
And then there's the $17,000 in expenditures that
I'm
we
not
weren't
gonna work with
actually
information I do not have
So-
right here.
Hey
please.
Jim, I was talking.
Hey,
No,
please.
actually,
Yeah,
it's
anyhow.
not over
So,
Um,
that's my recommendation.
making
Okay, with the absence of any other thing to add to this, I think we have too much on our agenda.
Okay.
This will likely go to the GC from here, and we'll see what we make up from that.
So, yeah.
This conversation will continue next meeting as well, so it's not a do or die affair now.
Hey.
Okay.
Where's if I can actually find my agenda? LED update. Daniel, can you run through that?
Yeah,
quickly?
I'll just make it quick. I sent out a report that Jesse and I compiled. It's 7 pages long. There's links in it. There's hashtags in it. There's
Nice.
all the things in it. If you have further questions about that, please ask. It doesn't have to be at this meeting tonight. I will say some of the things that might not have been included in there. We are working on. Jesse had this fantastic idea to have during the graduate and professional week. To have either the governor or Tucson Phoenix and Flagstaff all issue proclamations recognizing the work that we graduate students do and like appreciation for us, etc.
Do you think we can
So
get flag?
Ana Lopez from ASU is working on drafting that, and Jesse is assisting, and hopefully something will come to fruition of that. We all also agreed, there were representatives from NAU, ASU, and at U of A at LAD, and we all agreed. It's funny, it took us all going to DC to have this conversation, but we thought that it was such a nice collaborative process there, like deciding who was going to meet with representatives and things like that, that it would be nice to continue those conversations at the state level, and maybe not create a graduate student like statewide organization, but at least have like monthly conversations between the leadership or things like that, to encourage and continue this type of collaboration. Also, since Jesse's not here, I'll give you this update too. We've had issues trying to get people to attend Cats at the Capitol and Wildcat Wednesdays. So we talked to ASU and NAU about it, and they didn't actually have days like that specifically set up for them, like for grad students. So we said, hey, we're not going to be able to go on a Wednesday because they're booked for the rest of this school year anyways, so why don't you just come on a different day with us, because Jesse is planning on taking us on a different day, on a Tuesday or a Monday or some Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday. So we said, hey, come with us, and it will help strengthen our voice, because part of the thing that we're arguing for is having 50% funding for tuition. The state fund 50% of in-state tuition. So having graduate students from all three organizations, we think would help strengthen that argument, not just saying, hey, we from U of A are advocating for this, but showing up all together and saying, hey, everybody's on the same page with this. We thought that would be really great. So Jesse's working with Mike Sistak to set that up, and we will keep you posted on that. So that's my LAD report, but not really LAD. It's things that happen to LAD that aren't LAD specific, because you have that long report.
And Daniel, if you need to go set up, we understand that.
I do. So I'm
Great,
gonna be
we'll see you in a few
Summer,
minutes.
summer stipend, Jasmine.
Summer and fall, we just need to know what numbers are actually allocated in order to have an accurate understanding of our budget. And according to our constitution, I believe, maybe it's the bylaws, it doesn't really matter, all stipend decisions are supposed to be reviewable by the executive board. So yet again, I am requesting that the executive board be allowed to review what was allocated for summer and fall stipends, so we know how much money was not spent.
June, can you please respond to that? We don't have so much time left. I believe you completed this
Several
cycle.
executive board, I think it was the second executive board meeting this year, I sent those emails out when I was to the email.
We actually have not been
I
sent
might
out
have missed that.
executive
Sorry.
board stipends.
What document? I got
I
lost.
sent remember when I was, it was either when I was trying to Skype in and Skype wasn't working, or when I was trying to live stream in and live stream wasn't working.
So there's an email chain of this.
Yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
I've never seen those numbers, so if you could send them out again, that'd be fantastic.
yeah, what I sent out was, the total amount that had been dispersed and the number of students, and it's basically, so it, look back at our executive board meeting, the email that day, it's,
I don't recall this, so you could just send it out again. It's possible you just forgot. And
Is it
forgot to send
possible
out.
you forward the email to everybody? I think that would save us a lot of struggle. I'm going to skip the entire executive board report. We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Quickly, the other business, two things. We've been asked to work on the presidential transition manual for, should even add the thoughts in there. Transition manual for the new president. Please, if you have specific information that you think should be part of that, send it to me and maybe to Kara. Hopefully she will be willing to let me work on that as well. And we need to turn that in by, I think, 2nd of April. So initially I've talked about end of year reports, and I did mention that the idea is to have as many things that we've done this year, whether from socials or marketing or advocacy, even our budget estimate. If we can have the big picture of the money we spend, what we got in and what we spend them on, it would be nice to have those data. So please, if you can send me that information,
yeah, actually did.
please, if you can send me that information before the next EB meeting, that would be fantastic. And lastly, EB transition manual. Every of you do know that you need to give a manual to your successor, and you will be having one in about 2 weeks. So it'll be nice to start working on your manual, because I believe in about a month we all have to get out of these positions and other people come actually do some work. With that said, can someone move a motion to adjourn
Motion to
this
adjourn.
meeting?
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay.